Yo, what up? Raw Radio in full effect. December 4th, 2021. Tapping into this. We got a new moon today, I believe. There's a new moon, and there's also a total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So during these new moons, the moon actually goes away. It disappears. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a good time to set intentions, good time to plant seeds. And then also the solar eclipse as well. These things are portals. You know what I'm saying? It's actually a portal that energy can travel through. And it's a great thing to set intentions that'll manifest during the full moon, during these new moons. But when they coincide with things like solar eclipses and things like this, these are other portals that, the sun is a transponder of energy, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So allowing these energies to connect within ourselves, and we could do big things during these times. So it's great to center yourselves. It's great to set intentions. It's great to do certain things. So what I'm doing today is I'm doing an episode of Raw Radio in honor of the birthing process, the natural birthing process that we all come through here. You know what I'm saying? That's a portal, right? So the point is to honor the divine feminine in all of us that come through this birthing process and get back more to a natural position, literally and figuratively, of this process. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been not demonized, but it's been moved to a medical facility. Like, we think that having a baby is medical. When having a baby, having a baby is actually, you know what I'm saying, very spiritual and a very honorable thing to do. It's a very energy-oriented process. Any woman who's going through, birth will tell you that. It's an energy. They say something called the Ring of Fire, which is actually a portal. Again, paying homage to this solar eclipse, which is another ring of fire during the new moon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tapping in it, and I'm honing that energy, and I'm zoning into that energy to pay honor and respect to how we all get here, which is through the birthing canal, which is through the divine feminine, through the woman. So I grabbed this post from the Real Black Historian, and it says, "Did you know that women started giving birth on their backs because King Louis XIV had a fetish for watching the women that he impregnated give birth to his babies? He would stand in front of them while they gave birth, make them lay on their back, and he would jerk off, and that's literally why women give birth on their backs today. Before that, women squatted or used a birthing chair to sit upright and push until someone caught the baby." So as you can see in this picture, just like the Strong J joint, like if you've seen Boomerang, you know what I'm saying? When they did the Strong J, when she gave birth to that perfume or whatever that she gave, you know what I'm saying? She squatted. You know what I'm saying? It's even when we go to the bathroom, we should be squatting and not sitting. You know what I'm saying? Squatting is a lot more helpful, opening up the joints, opening up that the birthing canal and all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? The reason why we do things, a lot of reasons, we just don't pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna use this time to point some energy here, put some attention here, and get us back to natural positions, because these things, when thrown out of whack, they allow for our lives to be out of whack. And then, you know what I'm saying, we wonder why all this shit happens to us. If we come through the portal the right way, and the energy is directed and honed and honored and supported and all of that, you know what I'm saying, we have a better energetical alignment. And you see, like, some people just are aligned differently and align in different ways energetically. And a lot of that stuff comes from how they get here. You know what I'm saying? The intention that was even given. Like, some people say, you was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Or you was this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Which nothing's good or bad, but it's just good to know how these things come about. And our women give birth on their backs based upon a fetish from King Louis XIV, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So tapping into what I want to call today is the formula, the birthing position. You know what I'm saying? Women out there, definitely tap into the doulas and the midwives and things like that, and move away from the doctors, because they're going to, if you're a hammer, everything's going to be a nail. So the doctors, cesareans, they get paid 5 times more for cesareans. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cesarean births, and the epidurals and the medication and all that stuff is not natural. And the more natural we can get back to, how we get here for our children, the more natural of an existence that we can have, and tap back into the growth of the human species in a natural format. You know what I'm saying? So squatting is a big deal. The pregnancy oversight, to always have support through a doula, midwife, and have them next to your woman. Obviously, me being a dude, our birthing process is I was definitely the protector, and we were in like this midpoint. We had midwives and all that, but we was in this midpoint between. It was like a hospital / birthing center. You know what I'm saying? Birthing centers are, having a baby at home is the best process. Having a baby in the water is the best process. You know what I'm saying? Having a baby, dolphin assisted births. You could look into that. You know what I'm saying? Just providing keywords and touch points just to get past the normal process of, you know what I'm saying? Let me eat this white sugar because it's here. You know what I'm saying? Let me eat this white salt because it's here. Let me have my baby in this hospital because that's what we do. Nah, that's not how it has to happen. Dolphin-assisted births are some of the best births that they said. The dolphins naturally know with their sonar, and they're naturally protective, and they know how to birth children. You know what I'm saying? Which is a big thing. You can look up. There's I think a YouTube video and a couple articles about people who have had dolphin-assisted births, and they even move the people out the way, and with the sonar and all that, they help the baby come through. You know what I'm saying? Through the water. You know what I'm saying? Having a water birth. You know what I'm saying? Water births are huge. You know what I'm saying? So instead of going into these things, just walking into it blindly, knowing one, you having birth on your back because of somebody's fetish. Knowing too that they incorporate this as a necessity to have birth on your back. That doesn't necessarily open up, you know what I'm saying? It's not natural. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing half the shit that we do? That's the whole point, you know what I'm saying, of what Roll Radio is about, and me tapping into the origins of some of these things. So we could be like, all right, that's why? All right, well, let me move away from that and see other options that I may have. I don't have to necessarily do ABC. I could do XYZ. I could do KLM. I could do whatever the hell I want. So knowing these things will be helpful. So the dolphin-assisted births, dolphins are able to assist in giving birth. And you could, as you look up and do your research on dolphin-assisted births, you'll see that dolphins aren't even allowed to be at birthing centers and stuff like that because of something. Like they don't allow it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll move away. Such a, having children in a hospital is such a expensive process, and it makes a lot of money for the amount of children that come through. The aftercare, the food and insurance and all of that is all paid into, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of money in that. So if we realize that, hey, the dolphin sonar and the dolphins, and then you could just put a woman in a birthing pool and she could have an assisted birth that's less painful. The baby comes out more intelligent and all of that based upon putting her in a pool with dolphins. How much money does that take away from the birthing system? You know what I'm saying? How much resources does that take away from that? So that since the system is based on, pulling energy and not giving energy, that's why we don't see these things happen often. So checking the dolphin-assisted births. So also when you have your child, they want to give you a lot of shots, and they're gonna want to do that even more with COVID and stuff like that. So when you do shots, they say, okay, well, one of the shots that they suggest is the Special K shot, right? And if you really pay attention and just do the diligence behind some of this stuff, you can see like this shit. You could break it down to make it make sense for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times the medical profession, not to demonize it, but the medical profession tells you what to do without any feedback. It's like they're the authority. Like, you're gonna do this and you do that. You know what I'm saying? They're like the authority. When we have to meet them halfway, they have to meet us halfway. So, for example, that Special K shot that they give you during the birth, they give the woman during the birth or afterwards, they give her a vitamin K shot. So it's like, all right, why are you giving her vitamin K? Because the baby may not have enough clotting material in its body to, when it bleeds out, it doesn't have enough vitamin K. And the reason why it doesn't have enough vitamin K is vitamin K, let's say K comes from kale. That's how I look at it. Kale, vegetables, vitamin K, green leafy vegetables, chlorophyll. Things like that will help build the person's vitamin K. So instead of getting the vitamin K shot, just have your lady take, or have, have the woman take chlorophyll every day. Drink chlorophyll water. Have her eat kale. Have her eat a lot of, not necessarily salads, but chlorophyll, chlorella, things like that. Algae, seaweed, You know what I'm saying? Those will help with it. So these things rarely ever happen where the baby bleeds out by due to not having or having a lack of vitamin K. But you know what I'm saying? You could avoid all of that and not even get a shot because you don't know what else is in that shot. Just by drinking chlorophyll, and eating kale, and having green juices. You know what I'm saying? And then they give immunizations during the birth, which is hepatitis B shots. Like, how the hell is a baby getting hepatitis B? Where is that? Like, where the hell? Who said that? You know, why are you getting a hepatitis B shot? And we just take this shit. Like, okay, hepatitis B, and all like we just come on. Let's get more diligent with one of the most important processes in our lives, which is the birthing process. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, a lot of the shots you could look into and see that they're not necessary. And you could, if you're familiar with nutrition, you could get proper nutrition or get a nutritionist to help you during this process, and overload on, you know what I'm saying, greens, overload on things that's going to help blood flow, overload on vitamin C, overload on a lot of stuff, mushrooms, all kind of stuff, brain, this helps the brain matter. You could overload and eat food that'll be great during the pregnancy, even during the pregnancy period. You know what I'm saying? The pregnancy period prior to having a baby, it's like people just go about their lives normally. Nah, yeah, you live your life, but you know what I'm saying? Why not build a Goliath? Why not build a extraordinary being? Why not build a perfect brain matter for your child? Eat the mushrooms, eat the kale. Even colloidal gold, colloidal silk, you know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff is all helpful. Monatomic gold, you know what I'm saying? People just like eat just burgers and shit and just bring out a baby, and you know what I mean, whatever happens. You could align the foods and the stuff that you do during that 9-month, 10-month pregnancy process to create a stronger, more intelligent, more in tune, more aligned child with what the woman and the parents and the grandparents and the family and all that is doing. Like, you're literally building a being, you know what I'm saying? And people, you just go to work and just do whatever as if this is, you know what I mean? It's like it's nothing. Nah, you could tap into, it's a good time to start reading new books, to obviously, doing the stretching and tapping into the meridians of the body, and just learning different things that you want the child to grow into. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you play basketball, then you want to watch a lot of basketball. The child will be more inclined to that when it sees it, because the energy will be there. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. Like, people come out naturally gifted in certain sports and stuff like that, and I'm assuming that these things happen because the child is either already going to be oriented into that, or they their parents were into that, so they watch it all the time. They watch football all the damn time. Of course the child's going to be oriented to football and want to football and want to see shit like that and have that type of energy around it as it grows up, because it saw that through the womb. It felt that through the womb. It went to the games. It was out, you know what I'm saying? All of that. So we could use these energies and build these energies to build these phenomenal beings within the belly. You know what I'm saying? And do great things. So another thing, that when the child comes out, I would also suggest water births. Water births are phenomenal. But when the child comes out and birth happens, then they test the child for what's called jaundice. Jaundice is a lack of vitamin D, right? So, we all know to get vitamin D from the sun. So what you can do is, take a good amount of a vitamin D during the birthing process or before the birthing process. And I would suggest emulsified vitamin D prior to the birthing process. You know what I'm saying? You could, like I said, load up on all these nutrients so that these shots are not necessary. Because when they come and test the child and say the child now has jaundice because it's underneath a 6 rating for whatever, vitamin D or whatever, now it's going to take the child away from the mother. And they love to do that as well. Oh, no, let the mother rest and this, that, and the third. No, you want the child, as soon as the child comes out, it's not over yet. You want the child to be skin to skin to moms immediately. Breastfeeding immediately, getting that colostrum immediately. You want that to happen immediately, not just taking the child and running the child into the nursery. Like, no, you want the child to be, then you wonder why you have no attachment to your child, or your child is not, grows away from you. You know what I'm saying? You gave your child away to the nursery under UV lights and all of that. You know what I'm saying? The nurse and formula and all of that's called formula. So it's literally transitioning the child into an equation that may be outside of what you were preparing for. This stuff is all very important, and if we pay attention to these processes of how they take the child away from the mom, they put the child in a bunch of away, like screaming and yelling, lights. There's no nurture, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does it? What type of child is that? As opposed to a child that comes out, squatted, scooped from the moms, put on the breast immediately, nursed right there, looked at, hugged, kissed, all of that. Like, that's love. That's nurture. You know what I'm saying? That's honor. That's respect. That's how we bring beings in here. What they're doing now is not that. And that's what we all do. We all go and say, okay, I'm going to have a baby, and just go to do what the doctors or, you know what I'm saying, whatever nurses tell you to do. When in actuality, that shit don't make sense energetically. They don't even care about energy. You know what I'm saying? They just want the mother to rest. They give it an epidural, take away the pain. It's all medical. It's all based upon medicine. What happened to the energy? What happened to the spirit? What happened to the essence of the portals that we come through in birth? You know what I'm saying? It's an honorable experience. Let's get it back to being an honorable experience. You know what I'm saying? So even grounding, even being outside during the contractions, putting your belly in the sun, putting the vagina in the sun, having fresh air, having somebody massage your belly, massage your arms, walking, good music, candles, chakra bowls, sacral, because it's a sacral chakra, root chakra, having that energy around, plant life. You know what I'm saying? It's so much. What if you sun gazed while you was giving birth? How would that help your pain as a female? I don't know. I'm asking these questions, but we can tap into a metaphysical way of providing birth, and it totally changes the whole relationship. Father, daughter, mother. What if the grandparents was involved in that and they got you outside grounded while they cooking a certain meal, and you know what I'm saying, got a vitamin D ready, and you know what I'm saying, vitamin C ready, and a green juice situated for you, and protein drinks and all kind of stuff just on deck for you, as opposed to going in the hospital and having that bum ass food and fluorescent lights and not even being able to go outside. Not even be able to go in the water. Can you light a candle? Like, what elements are around you? How's the breathing? Is it all of that? Cool, fine. But what about the true breathing and like somebody breathing with you? All that stuff is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Having a metaphysical birth is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to go into the metaverse. We could go into our own metaverse. We could come here through the metaverse, metaphysically. But this stuff has to be honored and respected by mother and father alike, and also by grandparent, hopefully, auntie, uncle, everybody that's going to be during the birthing process, the midwives, the doulas, so that they're able to support in these ways. Because if they just think that, all right, just hurry up and have a baby, or have the baby and have the epidural and have it painless, and not worry about all certain levels of grounding or elemental, you know, if the person is a water sign as opposed to an earth sign, you know, so all these things can help. You know what I'm saying? The sun and everything, all that stuff helps. The food, the crystals that's around the person, the music, you know what I'm saying? What the person could be chanting, you know, traditional things, stomping, you know, dancing, all of that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff, it brings in a different level of connection with the child, and the child ends up only benefiting from that. Anything I'm saying right now is only attempting to benefit, only will benefit these beings coming in here. You know what I'm saying? And if we're able to do that and people around us support that, as opposed to making it a medical process, the medical process just makes it happen. Boom, you got a broken leg, I'm going to fix that. You know what I'm saying? You need stitches, let me put that on. But the energy behind it, they're not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? The energy behind it is not nurturing. It's not metaphysical. It's not beyond. It's not connected. It's not connected to the divine essence of where we come from, which is everything. In all things, all itself. So everything can be connected to our birthing process to make it a phenomenal experience. That ring of fire that the women say that they see, what if there was a candle or ring of fire, or they wrote out something, or they could get a download afterwards and start writing down their intentions for the child as they're first breastfeeding the child, as the child comes out with the father there, rubbing the mom, or writing the intentions as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're writing the intentions as well. Like, what are, you know what I'm saying? Like, where we at with it? You know what I'm saying? And where are we trying to go? You know what I'm saying? There's so much that we could do. Skin to skin is definitely important. So just moving through the different parts of birth. The placenta, right? The placenta is another birthing process as well. You know what I'm saying? If you give birth to a child underneath in water, the child won't even need to, and it's still connected to the mom through the umbilical cord. The child won't even still won't need to breathe. We can start, you know what I'm saying? You can start playing with that. You can start manipulating that. Having a water child, having a water baby. The child can start swimming. Child swimming. Have your child swimming. Don't cut the cord immediately. There's still nutrients and stuff that come through. You know what I'm saying? After the child is quote unquote born, that's attached to the placenta, to the mom, to the umbilical cord. That when the child's in the water, the child starts swimming in there. What if you got shungite in that water and you start putting monatomic gold in that water, and you know what I'm saying? Now that water is energized and that water is powerful, and your child is in that water after being birthed from a wonderful being, with that being the mom. And then it goes into the water, and then the water has tuning forks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can get it popping, and the child is in there just swimming, doesn't even need to breathe yet. And then after the placenta is, after, I don't know, it could be an hour, 2 hours, but the placenta is birthed as well. So after the placenta's birth, what we did is my wife, she ingested the placenta, so you can eat the placenta, and that's the best form of postnatal vitamin that you're gonna get. Like, Mother Nature knows exactly what she's doing in creating these processes, but here we go, making it medical, making it somewhat different, and you know what I'm saying, doing all this other dumb shit that doesn't naturally make sense. So, you know what I'm saying, the baby's born, placenta's birthed, you birth the placenta, you can chop it up, people cook it, you can put it into vitamins, put it into powder format, take it as vitamins. So taking the placenta, breastfeeding the child, and skin to skin are three of the most important things that a newborn baby can have. Because the formula exhausts the enzymes out of the child, has iron in it, it has synthetics in it. It normally will have cow's milk in it, or soy milk if you try to go the soy milk route. It's not natural, you know what I'm saying? So it'll take away from the child, and then we'll wonder later on why the child has allergies, or is allergic to this, or has asthma, or ear infections, or all this stuff. And that all comes from the nutrients or lack thereof that we're giving to the child. Whereas breast milk is so real that if the mom the breast milk process is so real that if the mom is catching a cold, and you know she's constantly breastfeeding the child, because anybody that has a child gets breastfed all day, all night, all the time, like the first few months or whatever, nonstop. But that's by design, because what are you doing? You're learning your child. The child's learning you. It's learning to get next to you. It's learning your breathing process. It's hearing the heartbeat. It's seeing what you do. It's hearing the father come around. You know what I'm saying? It's just connection. And that connection doesn't take 2 weeks because you have off from work. You know what I'm saying? To get off in 2 weeks. No, this stuff takes time. It took 9 months to build this being. So now how long do you think it's going to take for it just to nurture it next to you, you know what I'm saying, as you breastfeed it? But anyway, the natural process, if the mom is catches a cold and she's breastfeeding the child consistently, the child's enzymes or whatever receptors pick up on that and give the mom what it needs in order to fight that cold. Talk about teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. So you can literally, you know what I'm saying, as the mom gives the child what it needs as she eats the food. So and how we did it was, I made the food, I cooked the food, I made the smoothies, I gave all of that to my wife. She breastfed our child, and our child, you know what I'm saying, was able to benefit from that. And I knew which nutrients, because I'm a nutritionist and all of that, what to give to provide, you know, the best level of nutrition. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the dad supports. Like, dads, we also need to be more involved. Way more involved, and way more, like, I studied CV, I studied Africa, I became a holistic nutritionist. It was important because I saw where that nutrients was where we were being attacked. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my ancestor, Dr. Africa, Nutricide, which is a book that he wrote, Holistic African Health. and so forth. So since I saw that the war was happening through the children, through the nutrition or lack thereof, now I need to get my nutrition game up. I'm not just going to make certain food. I'm going to make certain food, and the food is going to be natural for my child's development and growth, for her hair growth, for eyesight, for brain, for all of that, and be intentional with that. Don't just sit around and just, all right, the child's there, just keep it moving. This is a very, very important time. Just like right now, today, December 4th, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, along with the new moon, is a very important time. So that's why my energy is coming through. This might be 3 parts today in doing this, because it's very important that we're able to tap in this way. So shout out to all the doulas out there. Shout out to all of the midwives, all of the natural birthing processes. Start having births outside. Let's start tapping into, metaphysical ways of having birth, and even just wonderful intention for having these children, because they earn it, or it's due to them. It's a great process for them, and just have intention when bringing these children here and what we can do and creating, because we all want to see, like, oh, our child did this, our child. No, you start having a child, and then your child talks or walks or does things, different than other children, or more advanced than other children. Everybody starts asking. People are asking, like, oh, how old is your child? Or, like, how old is your child? Or, how long have they been doing X, Y, and Z? And the people start comparing their children, and all that's cool. Like, well, a certain level of competition across the board, just with human beings, but we could be leveling this up. Children could be walking at 6 months. My cousin's daughter, she was running at 6 months, running. Shout out to BK. She was running at 6 months, because they just naturally gifted like that. Certain things just come across. And what if we're able to make so many other things come across due to nutrition, intention, oversight, execution, support by family? Because again, when you start doing things naturally, then now you lack the support. It's like becoming quote unquote spiritual, or moving away from, the church or whatever, in these things. Now people stop supporting you because you don't go to church. Nah, B, that's totally different. But I understand where we at in the time period that we at. So it's necessary. The first person through the wall is going to hit the wall the hardest, for the most part. So that's what's happening as these processes continue. And as we continue to change and move forward in the new things that are happening, with the love that we're giving ourselves, to those around us, and really including knowledge within that love, brain-heart connection, not just the heartfelt, like, oh, I love you. No, putting metaphysics with that love, and knowing that we can even tap in even more if we're able to breathe through our hearts together. Holding on from my left hand to your left hand. I receive your heartbeat, you receive my heartbeat. We close our eyes and meditate and breathe on our heart that way. And what if we do that, man and woman, while the child is in there? What if those meditations are happening? What if the man is, as this picture shows, while the child, not even during the birthing process, while the child is just a regular Wednesday, has a meditation and puts wonderful intention into that child. Just wonderful talent and gifts and honor and ancestral connection and all of that. And what if that's a meditative process that the man and woman, mother and father, divine feminine, divine masculine tap into as they're growing these beings, yo? We have so much available with technology, which is great, but also we have to remember that we are the main technology, human beings, and what we can do. And there's so much that we can do, So, I'll tap into this more. But again, I just wanted to, put this out there and just put my energy towards supporting, all women and fathers and anybody else having children and coming through, because it's a very important time. Now, it's always a very important time, but this is a very interesting time to come in right now. The people that decide to come in now, the beings that decide to come in now, they come in for a reason, whether they know it or not. They're coming to be eaten, or they coming to, try to figure this out and align certain things or whatever. So we could support them in doing that, and it's only going to help our DNA, our lineage, our growth, all of that. It just helps us helps our projections overall. You know what I'm saying? I got so much like stuff written down and so much stuff that I do and done for my children. You can ask anybody that knows me personally. How I handle my children is different. You know what I'm saying? It's different totally different than the norm, but even different than, you know what I'm saying, whatever kind of categorize people you want to say, because the discipline, the diligence, the oversight, the intention, the foundations that we build for our children are important. I take that to the T, even over finances and over making money. You know what I'm saying? I've done so much to support, the growth of our children in a way that I saw that was quote unquote correct, that has even taken finances away from me in a lot of ways, just by moving in a certain fashion. You know what I'm saying? But it's more important to have that lineage intact for me. That was my honor. That was my pleasure. You know what I mean? So I bring that to you. I bring that to all here. Much honor, much pleasure, much respect to those listening, to those tapping in. Roll Radio. Continue to tap into these births. Set your intention. That's you could birth a new life. You could birth a new business. You could birth, something from your mind, from your heart, from your soul. You know what I mean? Anything could be birthed during these times. And I want to support that. And I thank you all for supporting Roll Radio.